Yo, it's Gio. So today I'm gonna be doing the if you like this movie, you'd probably like this book tag, but horror and thriller editions. We probably all know that movies and books have similar in common, especially horror and thrillers. There's so much that have been done through the horror and thriller genres that have been repeated. So I've compiled a list of movies that I think if you like certain parts of these movies, you'd probably like this book because this book may have that type of thrill or type of horror you have in that movie. Let's start with the first movie that, if I may say so myself, pretty similar with the book. So if you like Downrange, then I'd say you'd probably like Eye Shot by Taylor Adams. So the premise of Downrange is, according to IMDb, stranded at the side of the road after a tire blowout, a group of friends become targets of an enigmatic sniper, which is exactly the premise of Eye Shot. But in Eye Shot, we just follow this couple who's moving to LA. They're driving this car and then they are being targeted by a sniper. And it follows from there. Let me tell you, Taylor Adams is becoming one of my favorite authors now in terms of thrillers. His thrillers are so engaging, so captivating. He appears in this list twice. This movie is thrilling. The characters aren't dumb. It's kind of over the top, whereas in Eye Shot, the stakes are high, but it is grounded in reality, if that makes sense. Okay? If you like Downrange, you probably like Eye Shot, or vice versa. If you like Eye Shot, probably like Downrange. I have three movies that I could compare into this one book. Taylor Adams book. So if you like Ready or Not the movie, or You're Next the movie, or Eden Lake the movie, then you'd probably like No Exit by, again, the one and only Taylor Adams. So in Ready or Not, you've probably seen Ready or Not.
Everybody talked about this movie a lot.
It's a horror comedy and it's got some actions. It's got some hide and seek vibes, like cat and mouse chase. So I probably compare the comedic elements to No Exit. So next is Your Next. See what I did there? Next is Your Next. So in Your Next, kind of similar to Ready or Not, where this guy invites this girl into this family dinner. The guy's family is rich, but their family dinner is interrupted when masked killers barge into their house and planning on killing them one by one. This also a horror comedy, more on the comedic side. The main character in Your Next is pretty badass. She fights for her life. I compare that to No Exit, where our protagonist is really smart and ain't dumb. Next is the Eden Lake. We follow this couple who's in vacation on this lake. Duh. And they are being terrorized by kids. And I know that sounds so lame. And how could kids terrorize us when we are bigger than them? But let me tell you, this is one of my favorite thriller movies. I rewatched this a couple of times now. Just when you think the stakes are high, the director ups it up even more. So the stakes are even higher, and there's a lot of twists. Kind of like No Exit. Every time the chapter gets progressed, the stakes get higher, and there's a lot of twists in No Exit. So if you like those three movies, if you like Ready or Not, Your Next, Eden Lake, then you'd probably like No Exit, and vice versa. And please, please watch Eden Lake and let me know in the comments your thoughts on the movie. So the next movie is, if you like Nerve, the movie, you'd probably like the book The Chain. We all know the movie Nerve. You've probably seen it because of Emma Roberts or Dave Franco or both. I don't judge, I don't judge. We follow this. I think they're in college who gets into this internet game where the internet dares you to do something and you win a prize, and the stakes are getting higher. However, the game manipulates the people to do things they don't want to. So in The Chain, we follow this mother who, her daughter has been kidnapped, and according to the kidnapper, I will bring your daughter back as long as you kidnap another daughter from another family. So it's like, The Chain. You get your daughter if you kidnap another daughter or son. And in The Chain, we get the point of view of the bosses, if you will, of the operation. Next is, if you like It, the movie It. Haven't read the book yet. If you like It or Before I Wake, then you'd probably like Imaginary Friend by Steven Chbosky. So, in Before I Wake, let me read the synopsis. I haven't seen this movie in a while. So, a couple adopt an orphan child whose dreams and nightmares manifest physically as he sleeps. I chose these movies in comparison to the book because the book is a horror, by the way, number one. And second, it combines that fantasy horror. Yeah, it combines that fantasy elements into horror, and we got some kids. Yeah, if you like those movies, you probably like that book. The second to the last one is, if you like Jennifer's Body, you probably like My Best Friend's Exorcism. Do I need to explain more? In Jennifer's Body, we all know, we've all seen the movie, we've all seen Megan Fox. We follow this nerdy girl with her hot best friend who gets possessed by a demon. The demon then eats boys. And in Best Friend's Exorcism, we follow two girls who are also best friends, and one gets possessed, and the girl does everything she can to, how do you unpossess a girl? Exercise. The girl does everything in her power to exorcise the demon out of her best friend. The book, My Best Friend Exorcism, has that 80s nostalgia in it. It also has that young adult vibes. It's a pretty great time. It isn't scary. There's one scene though that's pretty disturbing, but apart from that, it was just a fun ride. Yeah. And the last on this list is one of the newest movie, but one of the oldest books I've read. I mean, one of the books that I've read in a while. One of the books. Let's just say that I read this book a long time ago. If you like Promising Young Woman, you'd probably like Jane Doe. This is a pretty new film. It's freaking good, by the way. And Fletcher, My Bitch Fletcher, is on the soundtrack. So, stream Last Laugh. So, on Promising Young Woman, we follow this. She isn't young though. We follow this woman who's a college dropout, and she goes into bars every night and pretends she's blackout drunk and baits these guys, saying that she's blackout drunk so the guys could do anything to her. But she does the reverse Uno card and says, "Honey, I'm sober. I know you. and she keeps that list. And Jane Doe, I've read this last 2 years ago. It's also a revenge story about Jane. She's your typical office girl who bats her eyelids, wears floral dresses, but she's planning on having a revenge on her boss, Steven. So, in Promising Young Woman, the trailer misleads you. The trailer makes you think that this woman is killing these horrible guys who picks up drunk girls and plans on doing something to them. But no, she just blackmails them. So, like in Jane Doe, I was literally expecting Jane to freaking kill Steven, but no, she does what the main character in Promising Young Woman does, which does her revenge psychologically. That makes sense. So yeah, these are the books and movie recommendations I have for you guys. So if you've seen this movie or if you've read the book, comment down below which ones are your favorite. And out of all of these, I think I literally nailed the downrange and eye shot one. That movie and book comparison, literally close to perfect. Yeah. Bye. Yosh.
Boom, boom, baby, it's